Kia ora e hoa, haere mai. Come and join me. Have you had a good day? Oh, I hope so. I've got an interesting story for us today. It's called Taming My Worry Monster, Wallace. And this is the worry monster. Looks a bit scary, doesn't it? Well, this is by Evie Florence, and it's a story of bravery and of overcoming your fears. I love useful books like this. How about you? Are you nice and comfy? Ready for a story? I'll get all snuggled up and we'll begin. My name is Levi. I usually crawl into my sister Luna's bed at night. I try to sleep in my own bed, but I'm just so full of fright. There's Levi there, and this is his sister Luna. Why do I sometimes wake up worried? Why do I sometimes go to sleep scared? I feel a tickle on my back and hide under my pillow. I touch my back and realize it was just my hair. Sometimes I find myself frowning in bad, sad thoughts. I worry, and feel full of dread and fraught. Mum calls it my worry monster. It pops up and snares when I don't expect it. Even if everything is really okay, it tears at my emotions like I just got bit. But one time, I actually saw my worry monster, standing outside my window tall. Now I'm going to tell you how I became best buddies with my worry monster and how now I don't fear him at all. Look out the window. I think that might be the worry monster. When I saw him outside my window, his eyes met mine in a gaze. "Mum!" I shouted so loudly. My mother couldn't hear again for days. Mum bounded boldly into my bedroom. She said everything's going to be okay. I don't see anything or anyone, nothing and nobody. But still, I asked her to stay. I said, "Mum, it was there. I saw it. It made me feel sad and scared." Mum looked out the window, then turned back to me. "Levi, honey," she said, "nothing is there." But she understood my worry. She said, "In life there is lots for which you will need to be brave. Let me tell you the advice your grand-granny gave to me on one of my most afraid days. Face your fears head on, and don't you ever run away. Look for the magic emerald in the deep green forest to keep your worry monster at bay." I looked at my sister Luna and said, "I am terribly tired of being worried day and night. Will you come with me and look for the emerald so that I no longer have to worry and fright?" Luna said, "Let's do it." She too was weary and tired of my worry monster. Let's find the jewel and whip its butt. But wait, where do we start? Mum told us about a cave near a waterfall and a treasure chest buried inside. "Go on now, you may as well look for it," Mum said. "It's better than playing electronics while you hide." Luna and I loved the outdoors. We popped on our rucksacks and ran down the road. Luna stopped when she saw the forest ahead and heard the croaking of an old speckled toad. Rabbit. Croak. "Footsteps!" Luna yelled back at me. I stopped, trembling and feeling terrified. I knew I needed the emerald to beat my worry monster, but I so desperately wanted to hide. We saw a long trail of lanky footsteps down the road and into the bush. "Everything is going to be okay," I repeated what Mum said. Luna so bravely said, "Shh." We walked wearily in the dirt, but deep down I was worried with a hunch. Was this going to be the end for me? Was I going to become my worry monster's lunch? The sky was clear and the sun was beaming. We stayed silent as we followed the prints. I hoped the footprints would lead to the emerald, and then out of that cave we would have to sprint. Just think calm and happy thoughts, Luna told me. We can do this together, Levi. Come on. I wanted to believe her, so I kept on walking as the roaring river went long. Beautiful birds flew high in the sunny sky. The slippery, slidey rocks did not stop us one bit. The water washed fast over our legs, but it wasn't enough to make us sit. We cautiously and carefully made our way to the other side where the water met some rocks. We saw monstrous, huge footprints, way too big to ever fit into socks. Would I ever conquer my fears? Could I find the emerald and tame the beast? I was afraid, but I was determined. I had to give it my all and try at least. But my worry gave way to doubt. What if I fail? I asked Luna, so matter of fact. What if we can't find that magic jewel? I asked. Stop, Luna said. You can't think like that. Oh, Levi, you always think in what ifs, she said. Your brain is like a washing machine. You're always wanting to worry, or at least that's how it seems. Then all of a sudden we heard a nasty noise. Even Luna began to cowl. We heard a steady, suspicious splash and a huge, grunty growl. Luna did not say a word. She signalled for us to get out of the bush. But then I felt her give me a push. I was far away in my own brain, filled with worry, with dread, and with doubt. But I decided to run straight toward the water, for a drink and to rest, and to push all my bad feelings out. Growl! There in front of me and Luna, the monster was giant and scary. He was exactly as I remembered him from my daydreams and nightmares, incredibly large and hairy. He had a giant bear's body and a loud lion's head, a dreadfully dangerous scaly purple dragon's tail, purple hands and feet, and scales all over his body. Sharp, shiny white fangs, angry and scary eyes, and a scruffy lion's mane and putrid purple ears. I have to do something now, I yelled. How will I protect my sister from this beast? And then I thought of it, something I could do. Well, something small to do in the least. I dug deep and found my brave button. I wonder what Levi's brave button is. Strangers often stared at my robot-looking leg, but it was a part of how I was made. And now, in this moment when we needed it, it was exactly what would save the day. The worry monster began to creep closer and closer as I felt my chest fill up with fear at the sight. So I unhooked the shiny metal button and I threw my leg at the monster with all my might. The leg sure scared off the monster. He ran off, frightened, back into the bushes so fast. The feeling of relief was wonderful, but Luna and I both knew it wouldn't last. Luna still jumped for joy. We hugged, and then I picked up my leg, which was heavy. I'm so proud of you, Luna said to me. Great job getting that monster, Levi. Then all of a sudden we heard a noise again, so we ran until it was safe to stop and rest. We sat down to eat our packed lunch, and I finally felt calm in my chest. But then the strangest thing happened, something neither of us would ever have dreamed of. We walked side by side through the forest, still a little nervous after seeing my worry monster before us. Then I felt the worrying feeling again. It came over my body like a big gust. I knew I had to stop being a worrywart, as Mum said. We were on our way to the emerald now, but my worry only grew bigger and bigger as we continued to hear funny sounds. We heard music coming from high in the trees. It was simple and on repeat. The song was familiar, but I couldn't place it. Still, I was tapping my feet. As we crept closer, the music got louder, and we saw a mist swirl and build around and round. Our feet were inclined as we kept walking and felt a hill forming below on the ground. The mist got thicker and thicker. The music began to blare. We were drawn to the sounds and mysterious mist. We kept following the hill, not knowing what was there. We didn't even notice the worry, the dread the monster had once left us with. We felt the need to get up this hill, and we needed to get there swift. Before we knew it, we were both asleep, with the music on repeat, on repeat. Suddenly I woke up feeling drowsy and foggy still. I remembered the music, the special sound, and us walking up that hill. It was dramatic, like a full orchestra and choir, building and repeating so sweet and so slow. The noise was much bigger than my Minecraft computer game sounds. This was something I surely did know. It was the level up sound. You know the one, when you win at the game? When you get lots of points and the machine sings a song and prominently displays your name? I opened my eyes to look at Luna and was immediately filled with fright. Luna was dressed in full armour. She had a sword and was dressed as a knight. We shouted out to each other. We realised we had somehow levelled up on the hill. Yes, levelled up. The adventure and the clash with the worry monster gave us bravery and lots of power too. So now that we were dressed fully in armour, I knew exactly what to do. "Be afraid, worry monster, I'm coming for you," I said, as I pulled up Luna and I walked towards the mountain and the cave. "The treasure chest better be there," I said. A little while later, Luna and I emerged from the forest full of fog. Far ahead we saw the waterfall, so we quickly began to jog. At the top of a big brown mountain, we finally saw the cave. We ran and ran to the emerald to finally save the day. As we got closer to the treasure chest, I remembered what Mum said with pride. "Open it up slowly, my love. You will find the emerald inside." And so we did. But oh no! Giant footsteps meandered moodily up the hill into the cave. The worry monster was coming. I knew Luna was the one I had to save. His weird, wobbly, whiny worry crept from his tiny toes to his heavy head. Despite how close we were to the emerald, my chest was still filled with dread. I was panicked and afraid, but I held my hand up to the sky. I commanded the mighty monster to settle. I grabbed Luna's hand and said to the monster, "Goodbye." We ran towards the mountain. It was an hour before we stopped. By now we could take a deep breath as the worry bubble had finally popped. In the cave where we sat, the darkness seemed to grow. The space narrowed, then opened again. We saw the chest right in front of us. We found it, we did it. Luna and I danced in the dark of the cave. We ran right up and opened it. By now we were very brave. Is this the end of my wonky worries, I thought, the treasure chest gleaming so bright. Scores of emeralds and rubies adorned us. They sparkled away all the fright. Is this the end of his weird worries, Luna wondered. As we reached in, Luna picked up the stone. This was it. We finally did it. Now we could safely return home. "I'm proud of you, Levi," Luna said. "You could have given up this morning and stayed in bed. But you didn't. You went on this adventure to find the emerald and defeat your worry monster instead." And then Luna looked at me puzzled. She scratched her head and shed a few tears. "I'm just so proud of you, Levi. You've come so far," she said. "But do you even need this emerald to squash your fears?" I smiled, feeling strong and confident. I felt I was on top of the world. "Maybe you're right, Luna," I said. "Maybe I don't need an emerald to not feel unfurled." But then we heard a roar again, this time coming from the bottom of the mountain. Determined to finish what we came for, I grabbed Luna's hand and told her to come. "Let's go! I'm ready for this," I said. "We're not leaving until this is done." We ran full frantic speed down the massive mountain. The worry monster got bigger as we went. We got closer and closer, and I reached down, grabbed the emerald and got ready to present. As I held the jewel terribly tightly in my small but fighting fist, I knew everything would be okay. I'd defeat him. "It's okay, Luna," I said. "I can do this." I said it louder and louder. "Everything will be okay." Luna turned and agreed with me as I thrust the great green jewel at the sky. I crept closer and closer to the worry monster. I fixated on his eyes. I felt crazily calm. I felt brave. I felt in charge. The worry monster started to change before us. He suddenly started to shrink. His snarly fangs disappeared into a smile. He became even cuter than you would think. His fierce eyes became blue pools of kindness. He spoke in a gentle whine. He cocked his head sideways to figure out what was happening. The power was finally mine. I had done it with the help of my sister, the advice of my mum and grandmum, and I had defeated the worry monster. Woohoo! Luna cried out, "Levi, you did it! You tamed your worry monster today." She ran to my arms for a hug and a dance, and we both shouted, "Hip, hip, hooray!" I smiled so big from head to toe. I felt brave, in charge and strong. But I couldn't help but wonder quietly, did I have this in me all along? Did I even need to find the treasure chest or the emerald deep in that cave? Did I need to have such an adventure? Or did I just need to look inside myself and be brave? Luna and I ripped off our armour. I reached my hands out to the worry monster's snout. The monster was now so kind and gentle. I couldn't believe I ever had doubt. "Wallace, will you take us home now?" I asked. That's right, the worry monster had a name. And now that I've seen this gentle side of him, our relationship would not be the same. We would be friends. I officially tamed my worry monster. So now if I saw him at the window or school, I will know I don't have to fear him. After all, he is pretty cool. My name is Levi, and I am brave. Wow, what an adventure. All the way to find how to tame your worry monster. That was a really good question at the end, though. Do you think Levi and Luna had to go all the way to the cave and find an emerald to be brave? Or was it always inside him already? Do you know you've got incredible braveness inside you? The author, Evie Florence, knows that. And she's also got this book here. It's a book to help kids conquer anxiety, to level up and find their treasure chest. And inside this book are lots and lots of activities that you can do to help you find your strength inside. Hey, if you want to find out more, this story and the activity book are on lots of different platforms, but I'll put a link down below and you can find more information there. And maybe you could have a little daydream and go on an adventure just like Levi and Luna did to find your bravery inside. Well, thanks for joining me today. I've got another great book for us in a couple of days' time, so come and join me again then. And I'll see you soon. Ka kite. Goodbye, my friend.